Okay, everyone, we are back, and the cleanup restoration of the Dash 8. I, I, I am beside myself. I can't believe how great this turned out. So, got the show back on, got everything cleaned up. I'll show you what I used, what actually needed definite attention in a minute. But yeah, I am just elated with how well this went. As you can see, I have a headlight. Keep in mind this is a DC only locomotive. No DCC here. DC, we only do DC on this channel. So far, only DC. But you can see I have a headlight, and that's because the Kato Smart Device controller hooked up to my sound box. Most of my locomotives here, I can get a headlight without moving because of the I'm not sure how it does it, but with the start voltage slider there, I can get a headlight without moving. So there we are, guys. And when you see this thing run, as to how it was before when I tested it out on some on a 6-foot length of test track in the train store. Keep in mind I paid $30 for this locomotive. It didn't run great. I mean, it went forward at full throttle on a Tech Series MRC. It went maybe about this fast, full throttle. And when you change direction, it would hang up, and you had to give it little kicks and tips to get it to go, and it would hesitate every once in a while. So anyways, here we are right now. Okay, so I'm going to show you where we're at after the maintenance here. So you can see now, I am literally, I can't believe it. I'm getting like Kato performance out of this thing, like new Kato performance. It's crazy. I paid $30 for this thing. Look at that. It has some cosmetic issues, of course. We're missing the front handrails and the rear handrails, and we're missing the horn. But I found a horn I have coming soon, the proper horn to put on this Atlas Dash 8. The handrails I'm going to have to figure out, but for now, hopefully dudes don't go standing on the front or back end there. Nothing to hold on to go, dude, what the hell? There's nothing to hold on to here, bro. You know, but it'll be okay. So anyways, let's stop it. Let's back it up. I can't believe how well this thing turned out. So here we go. Super slow crawl. Let's speed it up gently. And listen to how quiet it is. Listen to that. This locomotive was previously very abused, very neglected, kind of trashed. Okay. Let's do more of a speed range here. So let's speed her up. I mean, listen to that thing. How I just can't believe how this turned out. I have a lot more confidence now in doing stuff like this. And the top speed now, look at that. The top speed now is probably 3 to 4 times better than it was when I first bought it. Okay, and it handles, there's absolutely no issues with this thing. It handles, here, let me do the switches, and we'll go into a siding here to show that there's no issues with the with any kind of derailments or any funkiness with the trucks or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to back it up here. No issues. Looks beautiful. Well, it will look beautiful when I get the cosmetics of the shell railings and the horn fixed up here. But for $30, I have no complaints at this time. There we go. Oh, what's going on? Oh, reverse. Wrong direction. My fault. Here we go. So let's pull her back out onto the main line of this very small, compact 6-foot layout. And we will give her a proper GE startup. And as you'll be able to see when I bring it to a full stop here, we will still have a headlight. Alright, there we go. So let me close that switch there. And let's give her a startup. Just pretend there's a horn there, okay? I don't have any lights turned on the layout right now. I'm just using the layout as a test track pretty much to see how this locomotive went. Alright guys, so let's shut her down. And I'll kind of show you what I did here. We'll take her off the track. Okay, so let's pluck it. And we'll go to the kitchen work table and show you what we did here. So here's the aftermath of the setup. This worked very well, the large alligator clips to the chassis split frame. That worked perfecto. And the microfiber, little cradle here worked out well. And so let me sit down here for a second. And you can see the used sandpaper here, the little pieces of, I used 400 grit sandpaper. Some of you might think, oh, that's a little aggressive. It does create micro abrasions and so on, but the situation is a hell of a lot better than it was before I started. You can see the little, the Q-tip grime and all that. And so, if you look at the previous video I did before I started, look at these wheels now. They are like new. Nothing's been replaced on this locomotive. It's just as it is when I brought it home for the price I paid. I just cleaned her up. And if you can see the, let me see if I can get the brass contact strips. But for those of you who know this kind of Atlas assembly, you can see the little, in between the body and the truck there, those little thin strips. I tried a different couple. Well, at first I tried just alcohol on the Q-tip and all that to the strips. It didn't work. Nothing was coming off. The strips were very oxidized and grayed up and all that. So I tried a couple different rotary tool elements, but this turned out to be the best deal here, and it was super quick. You don't have to hit the whole strip. All you got to hit is the part. If you look in the middle of the truck here, there's a little U-shaped, upside down U brass contact. I'm not getting it. There you go. You can kind of see it. See the little brass tip there coming off the top of the truck? All you got to do is hit the strip. Easily slides out when you have the fuel tank off and the body off. And so I just hit up the appropriate contact points of that brass strip with this rotary tool element here. And with the wheels, I did the hook up to the split frame with these alligator clips to this transformer, and I just started hitting them like this as they were spinning with the sandpaper, and that really obviously took things off. And then I followed up with a 90% isopropyl alcohol dipped Q-tip, with the wheels spinning. Did that, and then did the dry side. Did that a couple times and made sure I didn't have any oxidized material dust, riding around or anything like that. Kind of just cleaned it up, wiped it up, and then I hit the motor bushings and the bearing carriers with a little bit of lube, and that was it. I didn't even have to split the frame on this thing. I should have showed you how it ran before I started, but I didn't want, in the condition it was, I didn't want to touch my tracks on any of my layouts with this thing. It was so grimy, I didn't want to start transferring crud and grime onto my track. I wish I could have showed you how this thing ran before I touched it today. But anyways, I hope you guys got something out of this video. I'm very excited. Within the next month or so, I'm definitely going to have a proper horn assembly on the top of this thing here. And maybe some handrails. I've been searching for the handrails. They're a little bit harder to come by. But I got what is intact back in place. And it's looking pretty good for what I paid for it. I am absolutely elated. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and catch up with me soon.